Table tennis. The game was invented in England in the early days of the 20th century and was originally called ping pong, a trade name. The name table tennis was adopted in 1921-22, when the old ping pong associations formed in the 1902 was revived. The original associations had broken up about 1905, though apparently the game continued to be played in the parts of England outside London, and by the 1920s was being played in many countries. So led by representatives of Germany, Hungary, and England, the Fédération Internationale de Tennis de Table, International Table Tennis Federations, was founded in 1926. The founding members being England, Sweden, Hungary, India, Denmark, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Austria, and Wales. With the mid-1990s, more than 165 national associations were members. So the first World Championships were held in London in 1926, and from then until 1939, the game was dominated by the players from Central Europe, the men's team event being won 9 times by Hungary and twice by Czechoslovakia. So in the mid of 1950s, Asia emerged as a breeding ground of champions, and from that time the men's team event has been won by either Japan or China. As the women's event, though to a lesser extent, North Korea also became an international force. In 1980, the first World Cup was held in Guiyuhua of China and won the first prize. So table tennis became an Olympic sport in 1988 with a singles and doubles competitions for men and women. The game required to execute a successful table tennis serve. To serve the ball on racket must be behind and above the table during the serve. From the upturned palm of the server's motionless, free hand, the ball is tossed upward and struck as it falls so that its first hits the server's half of the table, travels over or around the net, and then hits the opponent's half of the table. Next is the shot to achieve spin over speed. So forehand drive, the drive is executed close to the table so the ball may be struck at the peak of its arc. The object is speed instead of spin, so the player hits through the ball which is directed slightly downward over the net in a low arc. So the next is brushing the ball's upper half with a closed racket face. So forehand loop shots are executed away from the table. And when the table is on its way down, the player swings upward while brushing or grazing the upper half of the ball with a closed racket face. The top of the blade tipped toward the net. This imparts top spin to the ball. So next is required to execute a forehand shot in table tennis. So forehand shot is executed away from the table, and when the ball is on its way down, the player standing in a square and position swings downward while brushing or grazing the lower half of the ball with an open racket face, the top of the blade tipped away from the net. This imparts backspin to the ball. A quick, smooth follow-through is desirable. The next is impart backspin with a table tennis backhand chop. So backhand chop is executed away from the table, and when the ball is on its way down, the player in a half-turn stance swing downward while brushing or grazing the lower half of the ball with an open racket face, the top of the blade tipped away from the net. This imparts backspin to the ball. A quick, smooth follow-through is desirable.